There is 35 minutes until Murph's Car Town and Sports Shop opens, and I have so much to talk about. Today's episode will be longer than 35 minutes. Obviously, if I have to record while the shop is open, just when no one is here, I will do so because there's a lot to talk about. I naturally talk fast, so maybe I get everything done within, say, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, or whatever it may be. But we do have some topics to discuss here on Murph's Boston Sports Talk. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully you had a fantastic week. The weather is getting chilly, but the past couple of days have been relatively nice. It feels truly like fall, thankfully. But hopefully you're enjoying yourself a wonderful Friday, or maybe whatever day you're listening to this episode number 94. We are getting so close to 100. I feel like I should do something special for 100, but I don't know what to do. I mean, it's in a couple of weeks, but what should I do? Reach out to me on social media at Murph's Car Town or in the comment section down below if you're watching this on YouTube. What should I do for 100 episodes, right? Like, should I throw like I don't know, I guess not a surprise party, but just like a huge event? Should I like record live? I mean, I'm not exactly sure what I should do for this one. I mean, I could just record just a traditional episode, whatever day 100 falls on. What day does 100 fall on? Let's see. We are here in October. Can we make this larger? Month. Here we go. So today's 94, Tuesday. Don't forget, shop is closed on Christopher Columbus Day on Monday the 11th, so there will be no Murph's Boston Sports Talk that day. However, it will just be pushed to Tuesday the 12th, similar to what we experienced with Labor Day as well. So the 12th will be 95. Next Friday's 96. The 18th is 97. Friday 98. Monday the 25th 99. So October 29th, if my math is correct, which it could be wrong, is October 29th, that Friday, is episode 100. It could be like a little Halloween special. It could be, obviously celebrating 100 episodes. Well, that's crazy to think about, 100 episodes, in all honesty. But honestly, let's just slow down, pump the brakes with that for a second because we do have a lot to talk about, like I did mention previously. But I want to make sure everyone's having a wonderful day, and hopefully they have a fantastic weekend that is upon us. I also want to announce that here at Murph's Car Town and Sports Shop, we are officially doing our first box break. Our first box break ever here at the shop. A lot of people have inquired about it, and it's about time I adhere to the people. Similar to me getting Pokemon product. I don't like Pokemon. I don't know a lick about it. But people are asking, hey, do you have Pokemon? Do you have Pokemon? And I had to stop saying no. So I got myself some Pokemon. People kept asking about the box breaks. So I was like, all right, fine. We will do a box break. So here we are. We're doing a 2021 Don Ross football box break. There will be 5, count them, 5 mega boxes and 1 blaster box. Obviously, all 32 NFL teams are up for grabs. As you know, I made this announcement last night, honestly, and I'd probably say a quarter of the league may be taken already. Teams like the 49ers, the Pats, the Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Chargers, Bengals, among other teams, are already taken. For a full updated list of teams that are available and teams that are not, go to my Instagram. I posted it there. Go to my Facebook. It's on there. Actually, is it on Facebook? I think it's in a Facebook group, but I don't think I actually posted it to physical Facebook. So just check my social media. Check Instagram. You'll see it. It'll have the 5 boxes. It'll have the blaster box on top. And it'll be like, hey, we're doing a box break. Come check it out. The prices are all outlined per team and such like that. So I'm really excited. It's going to be a live box break. I want to do this a week from today, so obviously Friday. But I have to wait for the teams to fill up, of course. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'm very excited for it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to actually have this live box break. It'll take place after hours here at the shop. And honestly, it's going to be a great time. Get some pizzas. Get some drinks. What? Wait, what? Who said that? I heard pizza. I heard pizza, right? And it's going to be a great time. I mean, there's at least, on average, 1 autograph per box. So hopefully we see 5 autos pulled. Depending on your team, you get an auto, tons of memorabilia and relic cards, awesome, cool inserts. I cannot wait. Earlier this week, I believe it was on Monday, actually, a Tua Tagovailoa 1-of-1 Nike laundry tag patch, 1/1 was pulled here in shop. Absolutely stunning card. Beautiful. Did not see it coming out of a blaster. So honestly, anything is possible. Anything is possible in this box break. And if you want to sign up, like I said, go to my Instagram, check the post to see the available teams and the non-available teams, and just reach out to me with your preference. Payment is obviously sooner the better, but it has to be in before the box break. So there's some good teams still out there. There's some teams that, could be sneaky and that are cheap. It's just all going to depend on what you're willing to gamble, right? Because at the end of the day, box breaks are kind of gambles. And then another announcement that I want to make is also, I just want to reiterate, 5% of every purchase here in the shop goes towards breast cancer awareness. So whether you buy something for $1, $10, $50, $100, say you go on a spending spree and you spend $500, it all goes towards breast cancer awareness. Well, 5%, right? 5% of every single purchase goes to breast cancer awareness. And I'm really excited to just be in the position to have a fundraiser like that, to be able to donate and give back, obviously throughout the course of October, where October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Listen, we all love women. We all come from women. Our mothers are all women. So it's something that I feel so comfortable doing because, women have, strongly impacted my life. And I'd probably say they've impacted a lot of people's life too. And obviously, if we're able to take a step to end cancer, or at least a form of cancer, then I think that's an absolute bonus. That's an absolute plus in life. So enough with the shop stuff, because you may not be here for the shop stuff, but let's get into the sports talk topics, because I would assume that's what you're here for. But since the shop and the podcast are one and of the same, they kind of get mixed up and go intertwined together. So here we go. Let's first talk about the Red Sox-Yankees wildcard game. I'll briefly talk about this because it's, obviously it happened on Tuesday. We're now here on Thursday. And I want to talk more about, the Red Sox, their series against the Rays, now that that's official. And, of course, the Patriots game upcoming against the Houston Texans. This game on Tuesday for the Red Sox, nuts. Period. Nuts. 2-0 early lead for the Red Sox. I personally didn't see it coming. I know Bogarts hit a nice 2-run home run to drive in Devers to give the Red Sox an early 2-0 lead over Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole obviously did not have his best stuff. That was definitely been easy to see. And now he's 2-3 in winner take all games, which is the most losses in MLB history, which low-key kind of seems low. I thought maybe the most losses would be 6 or 7 maybe, but maybe that's just me thinking a little too much. Garrett Cole, 2+ innings, 5 hits, 3 earned, 2 walks, only 3 strikeouts. He was only able to get 6 outs. Your $300 million pitcher, 6 outs in the biggest game of the year. Sucks. I said this leading up to the July 30th deadline. The Yankees should be sellers at this deadline. Now, they were 10 games out of the American League East at the time. They made a little push. They went on a big winning streak. Then they kind of collapsed, and they've just been so mediocre the majority of the season. Yeah, 92 wins is nice and all, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I mean, I was saying they should trade Gleyber Torres. I was saying they should trade Gary Sanchez. Just move players to put them on better teams. Shouldn't have traded for Rizzo. Shouldn't have traded for Joey Gallo, but they still made those moves. Why? Obviously because you want your team to have a chance. If you're even remotely close, you want to give yourself a chance. I get that. But the Yankees have literally done nothing with this roster for the past few years, and the roster is relatively the same. Judge, Stanton, Torres, Gardner, Urshela, Sanchez. They're not doing anything. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to trade Aaron Judge because, no, that's just stupid. But, trading for Gallo, trading for Rizzo, they were nice moves. I mean, it just still didn't work out. Was it the pitching? Was it the lack of hitting? Well, maybe it's a combination of both. I mean, you would expect that your $300 million pitcher would be able to pitch in a win-or-go-home game. At least give you 5-6 innings, right? So Yankees have a lot of question marks going into this offseason. What are they going to do? Are they going to try to strip it down and maybe rebuild it? But that's not the Yankees' way. Or do they want to shoot for another 91 season, get to the wild card game, or maybe the divisionals, and then lose again? That's all up to them. And enough with the Yankees. Let's talk about the Red Sox, how they were really able to kind of... Obviously, the 2 runs was nice in the first inning. Then you get an additional run in the third. But I didn't feel comfortable with that. I really didn't. I mean, the Red Sox 3-run lead would hold until the top of the 6th inning when Anthony Rizzo hit a home run down the right field line. And now it's 3-1. So it's just like the game never felt out of hand. I never felt safe because it's the playoffs. It's Red Sox. It's Yankees. It's like, I mean, anything can happen in playoff baseball, A, and B, anything can happen between the Red Sox and Yankees. So it's like, yeah, they hit a home run, walk a guy, next thing you know, they hit a home run, and now it's tied. But they were able to shut the door after the home run. Ryan Brazier came in and really was able to close out that 6th inning, relieving Nathan A.L.D., who pitched phenomenal, by the way, was an absolute stud and was gemming it out there. The only blemish was that home run, obviously, to Anthony Rizzo, like I already mentioned. Other than that, he pitched like a true ace. I know only 5 1/3, not what you want to see from your ace, but the bullpen really stepped it up. Like I said, Brazier 2/3 to close out that 6th inning. Tanner Houck, inning of relief. Hansel Robles, inning, and then Garrett Whitlock, an inning as well. Gave up a run there. What was it? A home run to Stanton. Yeah, that was like down the right field line as well. A little dinky-do home run for Stan, who's usually hitting balls 500 feet, right? But, I mean, bullpen looked really nice. Really, really nice. I felt really confident leaving this series. Obviously, the winner of this was going to play the Rays. So how much confidence do I feel about playing the Rays in general? Before last night's game, I'm giving you my opinions before last night's game against the Rays. I didn't expect the Red Sox to win the series. I really don't. Can they sneak a win? Maybe. If they want to have any chance at beating the Rays in this series, they have to take one in Tampa. And that's kind of where I transitioned to last night's 5-0 loss to the Tampa Bay Rays. And obviously, it's only one game. But let's not forget that this series is a best of only 5. Usually, playoffs are a best of 7. Not in the league division series. It's a best of 5. So, first team to 3 wins will win the series. So, losing 1 is actually kind of monumental here. And I might swing back to the Yankees game because I do have a couple other thoughts. But like I said, it happened on Tuesday. I really want to talk about this Red Sox-Rays series because that is what's on hand. I don't mind Eduardo Rodriguez getting the ball game 1 because, I mean, do you rush Chris Sale on short rest? Probably not. I mean, was it short rest? When was the last time Chris Sale pitched? Let me see. When was the last time Chris Sale pitched? It was during the Nationals? Was it the last game against the Nationals, the final game of the year? It was, and he didn't really pitch well that game either. So, what game? That was Sunday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It would have been 4 days rest. I don't feel comfortable. I mean, he just traditionally speaking in the playoffs, I mean, 3 days, 2 days rest is good enough, right? I mean, he just came back from Tommy John, so it's not like you want to rush him back. I mean, you do have other pitchers at your disposal like Eduardo Rodriguez, Nick Pivetta. And, I mean, so I don't hate giving Erod the ball here. I just hate how lackluster his start was. 1 2/3, gives up 2 earned. Garrett Richards was nice. He was able to, get out of that inning. Third, just get out of the inning, right? And then you go to Nick Pivetta, which, I mean, kind of was a question mark to me. But I don't know. You go 4 2/3. You give up 4 hits, 3 earned, 2 walks. I mean, obviously the third, it's only a run, so it's not like you're going to yank him after a run. It's only the 3rd inning, right? But then here comes the 5th inning, and then the 7th inning. So it's just like, I think I'd rather have seen Garrett Richards come out for that 3rd inning. I think would have been ideal. And then maybe have a relief pitcher to get you out of any jam that he may come into, and then have Nick Pivetta kind of, be that long guy if Garrett Richards was to run into any trouble. I mean, I understand the postseason. You're going to have starters pitch. You're going to have relievers pitch. You're going to have your closers pitch in the 5th inning. It's just going to be all over the place in terms of how the pitching lines up, especially Alex Cora, who is such a mastermind with how he tries to meticulate matchups and who to have pitch when and such like that. And I'm not complaining about this because, like I said, it's the playoffs. Anything is happening. If this was Game 7, everybody is pitching. Everybody will be ready to pitch. So it's only Game 1, so I cannot overreact. But I do wish that Garrett Richards, Nick Pivetta thing was handled just a little bit differently. Is that going to change the outcome? No, because the Red Sox they weren't able to get any runs. 9 hits, but no runs to show for it. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, oh, if you had Garrett Richards go a couple innings, they're going to win. No, because they weren't able to score any runs. But just I don't want a starter, a potential long relief guy, go a third of an inning. I think that's just a waste. Because then you bring in Pivetta. Yeah, you have I don't even know if Martin Perez is on the Red Sox playoff roster. Red Sox playoff. Because I know JD Martinez was added back onto it after missing the divisional roster. Let's see. They took Jarren Duran off of it. Martin Perez is on. They took Jonathan Aruz off. They took Jarren Duran off, and they added Danny Santana. And they also added JD Martinez back. Okay, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you still have Martin Perez as another long-term guy in that bullpen, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. But still, you have Garrett Richards maybe go 2+ innings, and you have a relief pitcher kind of get him out of a jam if he's in one. Then you go to Nick Pivetta. I just feel a lot more comfortable with that because you're not wasting that long relief kind of guy in Garrett Richards being a former starter. Because you're not going to get 3-4 innings out of Josh Taylor, Adam Ottavino, Matt Barnes, Hansel Robles for that matter. You're not going to get those kind of innings from those guys. So that's kind of why I wish it was handled a little bit differently. I'm sure Alex Cora is going to make adjustments for Game 2. I wouldn't put it past him. I don't like Kike Hernandez leading off. I've told you guys this for a long, long time. I'm not comfortable with him leading off. I don't think he's a good leadoff hitter. Now, Kyle Schwarber led off in the wild card game, and he was hitting second in this game. Do I think he's a better leadoff hitter than Kike Hernandez? Maybe generally speaking over the long term, no. But Kyle Schwarber was 1 for 3 with a walk. Obviously, that massive home run off Garrett Cole in the third. And he also went 2 for 4 last night against the Rays. So, I mean, I know he's not a speed threat, but, I mean, just getting someone on base who has a little bit of pop, I mean, you can't hate that, right? I mean, like I said, over the course of the regular season, I would not want Kyle Schwarber to be my leadoff hitter. I would want him more in the middle of the lineup. Maybe 2. I don't mind that. I know kind of lineups and the philosophy of having or setting your lineup in baseball has kind of changed over the past 2, 3, 5, even 10 years. But Kike Hernandez, I just don't think he's it. He was 1 for 3 with a walk in the wild card game and 0 for 4. But it's not like I'm just looking at this 0 for 4 game last night. I've been saying this for months, literal months. I mean, he's a 250 hitter. Every game, on average, he's going to go 1 for 4. I personally just don't want that from a leadoff hitter. I mean, he's got the pop with 20 home runs. Cool. 60 RBIs, 84 runs. On base plus slugging, 786. It's just, I feel like he would be better used maybe elsewhere in the lineup. Like, I don't want to just, shove him to the bottom of the lineup and be like, oh, we can, get the bottom half of the lineup going. Which he could. I mean, I know Christian Arroyo's kind of playing pretty decently down there in the 9 spot. He did go 0 for 3 in the wild card game, but he went 2 for 3 last night. I honestly wouldn't mind Kike being the 2 hitter for tomorrow's game. I really wouldn't. And obviously, you just kind of have to gauge it. You gotta be able to do things that make you uncomfortable. And I know Alex Cora is willing to do that. You saw that in the 2018 playoff run, when they played against the Astros and then the Dodgers in the World Series. Obviously, 19, they didn't make it. He wasn't with us in 2020 last year. But this year, you've seen in the wild card game, he did not have JD Martinez on their roster. So he's willing to do things that are risky, potentially uncomfortable for, at least from our perspective, the fans' perspective. And I think kind of having Kike not lead off is something you need to do. Have someone out there who's a good hitter, who can get on base, has a lot of pop, and kind of set the tone for, your big hitters, Bogarts, Devers, Renfroe even. Verdugo's kind of coming along a little bit. And then when JD Martinez hopefully gets healthy again. So it's tough. Do not get me wrong. It's tough. Managing a baseball game in the playoffs is tough. In the regular season, it's hard, yes, but it's a lot more easier because it's 162 freaking games. You're not going to be making all these micro moves, in the middle of June of a best-of-4 series against someone that you play once every 3 years. You're not going to do that. But here in the playoffs, when every game matters, especially a best-of-5, if this was a best-of-7, I'm not overreacting because my expectations for the Red Sox against the Rays are low. Would it be nice if they win a couple games, push it to 5, and maybe still lose, or maybe even pull it out? Of course, obviously, but I also have to be realistic because I am not biased on this show, on this podcast. I am not biased. You know that. So what am I looking forward to in Game 2? Right, Game 2 is today at 7:02 is first pitch. Why on God's green earth is it 7:02? I don't understand that. That's the dumbest thing. What am I looking forward to? Well, Chris Sale's on the bump today. I need a good start from Chris Sale. I'm not too worried about the bullpen getting tired out because there's a lot of arms. If you're not pitching, if you didn't pitch yesterday, if you're not pitching today and you're not pitching tomorrow, you're in the bullpen, right? Maybe with the exception of Chris Sale. What am I looking forward to? I want to see a good start from Chris Sale. 5, 6 innings, at least 6 innings, right? Really set the tone, shut them down, and then it kind of leads into my second point where the Red Sox need to get some offense cooking early. You were stagnant all game yesterday, no runs, 9 hits, which is nice, but I never felt like a chance that they were going to be able to push through a couple runs in a couple swings and make this a game again. Even when it was 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, whatever. I just never felt like that from the Sox. So if they can strike first blood in the first 3 innings, get a run or two, I'll feel comfortable. I don't want to say comfortable, but I'll feel pretty good. I'll feel decent about that. Because I feel good about Chris Sale. I think he can shut them down. I'm hoping at least. And, I'm starting to regain my confidence in the bullpen. So this also leads to my third point is just more consistency or stay consistent from the Red Sox bullpen. I don't think that they'll, obviously Nick Pivetta gave up a few runs, but I'm not going to hold that against him all too much because he's not a reliever at heart. Obviously, he might be plugged into the bullpen here in the playoffs. But I almost unplugged my mic. But at the end of the day, I just want to see the bullpen stay consistent regardless who's out there. Robles, Brazier, who's really come on the second half of the season. Well, actually, like September, honestly. Matt Barnes, Adam Ottavino. It just, obviously the starters too, Richards, Perez, Pivetta, like I've already mentioned, if they are called for long-term relief. I just want them to stay consistent, be consistent, and then stay consistent. So those are the things I'm looking forward to in Game 2 for the Red Sox against the Rays in their best-of-5 American League Division Series. Game 2 is tonight at 7:02, which is still stupidest thing, just 7:05, just whatever. But Red Sox need to steal, like I said, they need to steal 1 in Tampa in order to have a shot. They lost last night, so tonight, is it a must-win? Yeah, I'd say so. Now, if they lose, do they still have a chance? Well, your backs are up against the walls at Fenway Park. That's going to be a conversation for Tuesday's episode of Murph's Boston Sports Talk. But go win tonight. Go win tonight. That's all I'm going to say. And let's transition over to the New England Patriots. Probably the best 1-3 team you've seen in a long time. Honestly. And against the Houston Texans, I heard on the radio, this should be a layup. This should be a game where you get you guys right and such like that. Work on the little things. Instill some confidence in the running game, the defense, because Mac Jones is getting overworked early. And honestly, all those points I agree with. I don't think the defense needs to get confidence instilled in them because I think they're good. They're one of the best defenses in the league, top 10 at least in a lot of categories. For a team that's 1-3, besides that Saints game, you've given up less than 20 points in every game. Can't complain. Obviously you want to see, a fantastic number, maybe 15 or 16 points per game. But you gave up, 17 to the Dolphins. You gave up what was it, 18, 19? Oh, how many points? 19 to the Bucks. What was it, 7 to the Jets, or 6 to the Jets, excuse me. And then 28 to the Saints, which is kind of like a sore thumb. But, I mean, like I said, this is one of the best 1-3 teams in the league right now, and maybe in a long time, honestly, because I've said this before. They could easily be 4-0. Easily be 4-0. Harris doesn't fumble the ball. You kick a field goal, score a touchdown. It doesn't guarantee that the Dolphins aren't going to walk down the field and score points themselves, but at least it puts you in a winning position. Jets, they beat the Jets. The Saints, Mac Jones threw the ball. Jonnu Smith went off his hands, picked off by Malcolm Jenkins for a touchdown, which gave them 28 points. But say that doesn't happen, they're at 21. The Pats had 13 points at that time. And then, they go down, they get a touchdown. Now it's 21-21. Can't guarantee you a win, but still puts you in a winning position with the game being tied. Obviously, the game against the Bucks, Nick Folk hits that field goal. They're in a winning position. I'm not going to say that Brady can't lead the Bucks down the field for a field goal of their own, but still, you are in a winning position where you would be up 20-19. So it's like, you could easily be 4-0. As much as you're 1-3, and that looks ugly, you could easily be 4-0. The Saints look pretty good. The Bucks are obviously, the Bucks. So it's like those are two fairly good teams that you just lost to. I mean, the final score for the Saints game doesn't look pretty. But when you break the game down and look at this, and that, it's like, damn, they could have won that game. A couple little things went off. They could have won that game. Please pardon this interruption, but I just had to go help a couple customers that walked into the store. Obviously, in the world of editing, you'd never have noticed that. But, I mean, I was recording. I had my train of thought. And then, obviously, I had to go open Murph's Cartown Sports Shop because it opens at noon. And I'm now recording past noon. And, I've said this a couple times. I might have to stop and go. But you'll never know because I'll pause it. I'll go. I'll come back and I'll record, and you'll never know the difference. But I obviously listened back, 10 seconds to what I was saying about, the Pats potentially being 4-0. I just got interrupted again. Sorry. Okay. Back to what I was saying. I know I lost my train of thought, and I was trying to recoup it. But the Pats could easily be 4-0. I know I mentioned that a few times, but they're not. They're 1-3. And I really feel like that this game needs to be a get-right game for the Patriots. The defense, like I said, is fine. You should really be able to shut this Texans offense down almost easily, right? I mean, they have no legit weapons. Brandon Cooks, though, for the Texans has been playing like a Pro Bowler. I ain't going to lie. He is playing like vintage Brandon Cooks, and he's had a couple different quarterbacks the past couple of years, but it seems like it hasn't stopped him. He's really balling out for the Texans, and he's been a good bright spot for that Houston offense. But honestly, J.C. Jackson or whoever they throw on him should be able to shut him down. And I don't want to say it's going to be easy because the way Cooks is playing is so well. But this has to be a get-right game. They need to win this, and they need to get that running game back on track. So a few things that I am looking forward to in this game is obviously the running game. The running game sucked against the Buccaneers, and overall it hasn't been all that impressive. Damian Harris did look pretty good week 1 against the Dolphins up until he had that fumble. Ramondre Stevenson has been healthy scratches. J.J. Taylor got put in the doghouse for a fumble. It's like, without James White, you can't do that to these young guys, right? You have Brandon Bolden, but he's more of a special teamer. I mean, you don't want to have to rely on him to be your third down guy. So get J.J. Taylor involved. Get Ramondre Stevenson involved. Get Damian Harris going, right? I want to see the Pats really rush the ball. Really take advantage of a soft spot here in the schedule with the Houston Texans to kind of rework that running game back into the offense, because what we saw last week against the Buccaneers, when they rushed the ball, not even 10 times. I don't even know what the number was. Hold on, let me look at that real quick. How many times did they rush it? Patriots, rushing. Aguilar had 1. Bolden had 1. Taylor had 1. Mac Jones had 1. Harris had 4. That's 9 rushes. And that Mac Jones one wasn't a designed run either. So if you want to cross that one out, let's cross it out. 8 total team rushes. Like, that's not going to cut it. That's absolutely not going to cut it. Give Damian Harris 20 carries, right? 15. Give me 15 at least. Give Taylor 5. Work him in the running game. Give Stevenson, close to 10 carries. I know that's a lot of plays in the offense that you're dedicating to these guys, but you got to get them going. When the Patriots won the Super Bowl a few years ago against the Rams, that year they turned into a run-first team. Patriots didn't have the best of weapons. The offense wasn't really able to click and gel, but they were dominant on the run, the running front. They had Sony Michel. The offensive line was great. You have James White in the backfield. It worked. And I guess I now would bring up Sony Michel. I also heard this on the radio too. It's like, were the Patriots wrong for trading Sony Michel and trying to look to the future in terms of trading him away, grab some draft picks? Let me move my chair in here. Jesus. Were they wrong for doing that? Trading him away to the Rams, grab some draft picks, look ahead. You like what you have in the running back room. I liked what they had in the running back room at the time. Stevenson, Taylor, not working out as planned. White out for the season. Harris struggling to kind of get going. I think at the moment, at that time, trading Sony Michel was the right call. Obviously, looking back in hindsight, you're like, fuck, why did we do it? So it's a double-bladed sword in that way. So what can the Patriots do? Well, I tried to emphasize the fact that they should be able to get this running game going here against the Texans, or at least they should make it a focal point, right? There's some running backs out there in the free agent market, and I mentioned this in shop, and I mentioned the name Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley's not going to want a lot of money because he has no job right now. And I know he's had some knee issues when he was with the Rams. That's why they cut him with the Falcons. That's why they didn't bring him back. But that's because he was a bell horse, 3-down kind of a running back. If you bring him here into New England, you're not asking him to be that guy. You're just asking him to take 5 carries a game, if that, and a couple passes on 3rd down or at least out of the backfield. Nowhere near to the type of production or the type of usage that he used to have last year at the minimum. But going back to his Ram days when he was, a top 3 running back. Like, you're not asking him to put all that wear and tear and that grind on that knee. Yeah, I know the knee is not good, but still, he's 27 years old. He's still fairly young. I'm sure he's got a drive to play, seeing that he's not on a team right now. At least that's what I would like to think from him. So I think just bringing him in for a workout, bringing him for like a couple of weeks, see what he can do. Obviously, you're going to have to make roster moves and move things around. And obviously, speaking of roster moves, the Stephon Gilmore trade, that's something to even talk about. I love how I was going to give you some key points to the Texan games. I start with the running game, and then I totally transition out of that, and I'm talking about some other things. It's funny kind of how that works. But seriously, before I talk about the Stephon Gilmore trade, let me finish with my 3 points. So the first point was obviously get the running game going. The second point, defense. Just because you're playing the Texans, you can't sleep. Defense cannot sleep. You're 1-3. Offense is offense. Defense has been fairly good. So you kind of have to make sure that you're ready to go and you're not caught sleeping. Because if you're caught sleeping against any team in the NFL, not just the Texans, it could be the Jets, it could be the Jaguars, or it even could be the Bucs, you're going to pay for it. So make sure the defense comes to play. Make sure they step up, set the tone early so you're able to focus on the running game more. Maybe, that first drive, you go out, run heavy. Maybe you go out pass heavy just to get a score, and then you kind of work in the run after that once you get a little bit of a lead. Defense has to come to play. You can't get caught sleeping because otherwise, we've seen Mac Jones do it a couple weeks now. He's going to throw the ball a lot to keep the Patriots in the game. And for a young quarterback, that might be cool for a game, but you don't want your young quarterback to be taking all those chances all so frequently during the game. Hence why the importance of getting the run game going, which is my first point. So get the run game going. Defense can't be sleeping here in this game. And then my third point, just win the damn game. I mean, I don't want to focus on this or that. Let's keep it simple. Run the ball, play defense, win the game. Those are my 3 points. I couldn't be any more straightforward. I couldn't be any more blunt about it. Go win the game. I mean, do I have to harp and hound on it? Do I have to waste more time talking about how important this game is. 1-4, forget about it. The AFC is looking really good this year, and I'm going to talk about the NFL schedule in just a moment. 2-3, get a little confidence, a little bit of momentum, because you got some difficult games coming up that at the beginning of the season you didn't think may have been big games. The Cowboys game next week after this one is going to be a big game. Then you got the Jets again, the Chargers, best team in the AFC West right now. The Panthers, best team in the NFC South right now. Then you got the Browns. So it's like these games coming up are actually going to be meaningful, when at first look, they might not have been. So you got to start winning games. You got to start winning them quickly. But 2-3, get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of confidence, get that running game feeling good. Defense, has a stellar performance, and you win the game. Super simple. NFL Week 5 started off with the Rams beating the Seahawks 26-17 yesterday for Thursday Night Football. Russell Wilson broke his finger or something, so he might be missing some time, which is a first in Seattle. Let's not forget that this is the same Russell Wilson that wanted to get traded this offseason, but he chose, eventually came back. I think he'll obviously return this season, and I'm confident he'll play with the Seahawks this year, but Russell Wilson's time in Seattle is coming to a close a lot sooner than we thought. Jets I guess they technically don't visit the Falcons because this game's in London, but Jets technically at Falcons in London. Falcons not the best team, and Jets got a little bit of momentum right now. Could I see the Jets win this game? Yes. Do I think the Falcons will win this game? Yes. But if I'm going to pick, I want to pick the Jets just for the memes and because of the realistic possibility that they win. So Jets over the Falcons in London. Patriots versus Texans. I'm going to pick the Patriots for obvious reasons. And I already broke that game down immensely previously. Lions visit the Vikings. Lions are getting close to winning, and they're just like a dink and a doink and one play away from winning. I'm going to go Vikings, but I'd like to see the Lions win, but I'm going to go Vikings. Eagles visit the Panthers. Eagles put up a good game against the Chiefs last week. Kind of fell short, in the second half. Panthers looking really good. I'm going to go Panthers here, but I would expect a good game from both sides. Saints visit the football team. Big game for Washington. Do they have what it takes to beat the Saints? I don't think so, so I kind of want to lean New Orleans here. Titans visit the Jaguars. Everything going on with Urban Meyer in Jacksonville makes you want to pick the Titans, but they just lost to the Jets in overtime. Titans are the better team, but the Jaguars are going to sneak one out at some point. Is it this week? I don't think so, so I'm going to go Titans. Dolphins visit the Buccaneers. Far commute. That's a joke, guys. That's a joke. Buccaneers, obviously. Packers visit the Bengals. Bengals are a sneaky good team. This is no layup for the Packers. Originally, this was probably a layup, but they're no joke this year, the Bengals. Packers, obviously, the Packers. This is going to be a really good game. I am really interested in this game. I could see the Packers still blowing out the Bengals just because at the end of the day, they are the better team. Some sirens are going off, and it is annoying. Okay, they've drove by. I could also see the Bengals winning this game, though. In a close, hard-fought battle, I could see the Bengals winning. I'm going to pick the Packers because I think they're the better team here, and they should win. But do not get mistaken that I don't think the Bengals can win because I do think that they could win this. Broncos visit the Steelers. I think the Steelers are in absolute disarray. Broncos look sneaky good this year. They're 3-1. Sneaky good this year. Going to Pittsburgh might be tough to play. Steelers are also 1-3. They're in desperation mode. Could they pull this game out? Sure. But I really like what the Broncos are doing up in Denver. So I'm actually going to pick the Broncos here to win that game. Bears visit the Raiders. Justin Fields is finally the starting quarterback. Thank goodness. In Chicago. Do I think he's going to beat the Raiders? No. Because I still think that Raiders team is actually really, really good. So I'm going to pick the Raiders. But I kind of want the Bears to win. for sole purposes of Justin Fields. Browns visit the Chargers. Good game there at 4 o'clock. That game could honestly go either way. Both teams are 3-1. Top of their divisions, or at least tied for the top of their divisions, respectively. This one's tough. Both teams could win. I could see both teams winning. I wouldn't mind if either team won. I'm going to pick the Chargers solely because they're home. This is such a close matchup. If the Browns were home, I'd probably pick the Browns. So I think home field will play an edge into the Chargers winning. So I'm going to pick the Chargers, but this one's close. This one's really, really tight. I want to know what you guys think about this game, and any game really. Reach out to me, social media, at Murph's Cardtown, or down in the comment section below if you're watching this on YouTube. Whether it's the Browns or the Chargers or the Bears and Raiders game, any game really. Let me hear your thoughts. Sound off. Giants visit the Cowboys. I'm going to pick the Cowboys, but the Giants do have a little bit of swagger and momentum, but I'm still picking the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are the better team. 49ers visit the Cardinals. This would be a great game at the beginning of the season. I'm going to lean Arizona because they're just so hot. They're so good. They're still undefeated, correct? They're the only team that's still undefeated. A lot of people expected the Cardinals to be good, but I don't think many people expected them to be this good. And I think that'd be a huge statement win over the 49ers, who a lot of people picked over the Cardinals. And I believe in my preseason prediction, I also, did I write it down somewhere? Did I write it down? I would have been smart to write it down, right? I did not write it down. That, I could see all four teams from the NFC West making the playoffs, but I think I left the Cardinals out with the caveat saying that they could make it. And I think I chose the 49ers over them, but I could be wrong. Bills visit the Chiefs for Sunday Night Football. That is going to be a great game. Honestly, game of the week by far. As much as I like that Packers-Bengals matchup and that Browns-Chargers matchup too, this is the game of the week here. This is what you live for. Can the Bills beat the Chiefs? Chiefs are not playing as good as they could or as good as they should. This would be a great statement game for the Buffalo Bills. Be like, listen, you beat us last year, but that doesn't mean you're the king of the AFC. The Chiefs have been shown to be susceptible this season. That defense is not the best. That offense is still very powerful, but they can be slow at times. Bills need to win this game and really prove, and also get that tiebreaker too, because if the records are similar and it comes down to it, tiebreaker is going to be massive. And then for Monday Night Football, we have the Indianapolis Colts visiting the Baltimore Ravens. I believe in my survival league, I'm picking the Ravens to win because the Colts just don't have it this year, man. I mean, what happened? A lot of people were high on the Colts. I don't think I was, but they are just in absolute disarray right now. But the Ravens, I'm not a big fan of the Ravens either, but I do believe they're the better team, and I think it should be a sneaky win if the Ravens win. Like I said, I picked them in survival. So if the Ravens can get this dub, then that would be nice because I get to save the better teams for later on. And I don't really see myself picking the Ravens any other time soon this year because, like I mentioned earlier, I don't believe in them that much. So I'll be definitely looking forward to that game as well. So just to recap really quickly, I have the Jets over the Falcons, Pats over the Texans, Vikings over the Lions, Panthers beating the Eagles, Saints defeating Washington, Titans defeating Urban Meyer. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to be professional here, but it's hard to stray away from jokes when they present themselves. Titans over the Jaguars, Buccaneers beating the Dolphins, Packers winning over the Bengals, but I love that game right there. Broncos defeating the Steelers, Raiders defeating the Bears, Chargers winning against the Browns, Cowboys destroying the Giants, Cardinals proving a point against the 49ers, Bills Mafia over Kansas City. Oh, I dropped my water. I'm thirsty. Bills over Kansas City, and then the Ravens over the Indianapolis Colts. That is who I have for Week 5. Cannot wait to see how this plays out. Fantasy, big week of fantasy. A lot of players are also injured, which kind of sucks, but you know what? Bye week doesn't start till next week, so you got to... Fantasy's a long season, man. You just got to kind of, fight through it, honestly. So we'll see where we are at the end of this week in terms of that. But I believe that's everything I wanted to talk about in today's episode. At least from my end, recording, it was kind of jacked up a bit. Recording, opening the store, having customers, recording, customers coming in. And trust me, I'm not complaining. But obviously from your end, it's not going to be bad. Obviously I'm going to go in and make sure it sounds nice, crisp, and clean. But trust me, this episode was a little wonky to make, so that's why I might be cutting it short by just a few minutes. So I hope you do not mind there. But before I do go and wrap things up, make sure you do check out Murph's Cardtown Sports Shop. You can find the shop on Facebook, Google, social media, just about anywhere, YouTube even. Definitely come check it out. Also, consider joining the box break for the 5 2021 Don Ross Football Mega Boxes and 1 Blaster Box as well. So 6 total boxes. Bunch of teams are still available. Check out my Instagram. It is the most recently posted post, picture, whatever, for the box breaks. There's going to be X's next to teams. That means they're taken, but whatever team does not have an X, they are open for claim ship. So definitely do that as well if you're interested. And also, it'll be a live box break. Come on down, grab some pizzas, this and that. Let's have some fun, all right? And of course, the box break will be recorded as well for proof, obviously, because I know some people might not be able to make it. But those are all the announcements that I have about the shop, everything I have to talk about in terms of sports. Go Sox, go Pats. And honestly, have a great weekend. Weather's supposed to be nice. I mean, I can't be your meteorologist for too much because it's going to get really cold friggin' fast. Now, over the weekend, Sunday's going to rain a little bit. That's not ideal. That is not ideal at all. So try to enjoy today, enjoy tomorrow, and then stay dry on Sunday as you sit home or at the bar and watch some great football games because this week's going to have a lot of good games in it. So that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for downloading, listening, and enjoying on audio platforms. I greatly appreciate it. You can find Murph's Boston Sports Talk on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, and also on YouTube. But before I get into the YouTube, you can find Murph's Boston Sports Talk on any podcast platform that you listen to your podcast on. That is where I am. If whatever platform you choose, you can find Murph's Boston Sports Talk. And I just alluded to YouTube. Yes, I'm also on YouTube as well. Every single podcast episode is on YouTube, along with extra content, vlogs, shop videos of the like. So definitely go consider checking that out if you haven't. But if you're already listening to this podcast on YouTube, thank you so much. And please smash that thumbs up, that like button if you enjoyed today's episode, as that would be greatly appreciated. And also, while you're doing that, please consider hitting that giant red subscribe button if you are new or haven't considered subscribing yet to the channel, as I would greatly appreciate the love and support on the channel. Regardless if it's on the channel or on audio-only platforms, definitely reach out to me at Murph's Cardtown on social media. And if you are listening to this on YouTube, down in the comment section below. But whatever platform works best for you works for me as well. But that's going to do it. Like I said, thank you so much for downloading, listening, and enjoying and tuning in for today's episode. Episode number 95. Don't forget, episode number 95, right? Let me double check. 95 will be on Tuesday. Not Monday because of the holiday. Tuesday. Shops closed on Monday due to Christopher Columbus Day, so I won't have access to the studio. So Tuesday is episode number 95. Just want to make that clear so people are aware. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. I will catch you for the next one. But between now and then, you guys know that I love you, and I will always see you.